What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Job back at it with another motherfucking banger. And today, we got how they was trying to make teenagers drug music in other countries. We gonna just hop straight into it.
We're now in the second phase
Get to
of
it.
some raids
Hop in the
across
booth,
London, and this morning we're going to be hitting about 20 addresses.
Can't fall in love, thank you.
It's 5 a.m. in the morning and we're down here with the Metropolitan Police. There's a growing insidious side to the UK's
that's
drug
how they
trade.
running this shit. Bro, and I be,
This army of
and
police
I
are
say
about
this
to arrest
every
a
time I
house
watch
full
a
of
video
dealers.
like this. I be so
They like to
baffled
strike early
that
before the accused have
niggas
time
get
to
raided
wake
like
up.
we get raided. I thought like we was
But
like the
these are
drug
not hardened criminals.
capital. Like
They're
if a nigga
teenagers.
made a drug, like this how I really
Sometimes
thought.
it's young-
Let me pause. This how I really thought it went for a little bit. So like we grow weed. You feel me? Mexico, they got the coke and shit. And then I thought like over the seas they had their own type shit, but they still kind of dabbled in our shit. You feel me? But they ain't really have it like that. You feel me? I thought we was the niggas with the shit, which we are still the niggas with the shit. But other niggas got shit too. But I've also talked to motherfuckers from UK before. Maybe like they only got like 4-5 strands of weed. I'm like, what? I know Cookies got more than 4-5 strands of weed, and them niggas ain't even the only ones growing weed. You feel me? So it's like,
is 12. And trust me, getting arrested ain't even the scary part. Many of them have already been raped, beaten, and kidnapped in order to enslave them to run drugs across the country.
did they say rape?
This exploitative criminal industry is called county lines.
High society.
There are at least 27,000 teenage drug runners in England who are a part of an industry that
27,000?
generates over $1 billion a year. They groom them with Gucci shotter bags, North Face jackets, and Air Maxes. They find them in broken homes, council estates, and playgrounds late at night. I know because I was recruited myself.
Raw. It's been a minute since I've been around here, you know. So at about 14, I was heavily involved in drugs, weapons. This would be the point of where you'd link them to make the exchange. This is the bus stop where the crackhead took my drugs and almost stabbed him. I thought I was gonna make money that would have landed me in a legit space. But all it did was land me in prison. When I was younger, my mum was my biggest support. And I didn't see it as that. I could have been so many things, but I chose to.
What's crazy
You know what it
is,
was? I chose to give up
I just
on
knew this
myself.
was a nigga when she first popped up.
I was the problem over 18
She is
years
not.
ago.
This
I'm
is
now
a
a
female.
part of the solution.
Now, I'm a qualified youth worker. It's so big these days that they're even getting runners themselves to recruit their own youngers. This young Middle Eastern refugee, who goes by A, uses a crew of kids to flood every stop on the West Coast main line with crack and heroin.
Thanks for
Crack
speaking
and
with me
heroin,
today.
that's what they selling?
Problem.
How old are you?
I'm 18
How long have you been involved in drugs running?
for about 3-4 years.
And what got you involved in that?
The money, man.
And what is it you do on a day-to-day basis in this lifestyle?
When I wake up, I have to go to the block. Show all the people, whatever. If I'm hands-on, I get the drugs, and then I start shotting, which is selling them. If I'm hands-off, I get the drugs and I give it to the youngers, and then they start off their day by selling.
How old are these youngers?
Around the age that I started, 14, 15, so
So they're kids, basically. So you're putting kids back on to run a system that you first came into.
yeah.
So when you're putting on these kids at 14, how do you feel and where are you getting these kids from?
I put myself in, I put these kids in my position. When I was their age, I just wanted money. I just wanted to look flashy and that. So some of them don't even have food to eat. So, me putting them on is like, it's a favor for them, you get me?
When you was growing up, did you think you was going to be a drug dealer? Do you think that this was going to be your lifestyle?
No way, I do not think that. I grew up in a war-zone country. I seen dead bodies from the age of, 6, 5, whatever. all I seen was violence. My family didn't have money when they came here, you know. So obviously we lived in a hood, we lived in an estate. And all I seen around me was drug dealers, people getting stabbed up, whatever. So I thought that was the norm.
Can you see yourself leaving this lifestyle?
Yeah. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Even the money that comes in from the lifestyle is dirty money. You know, it's coming from drug addicts and stuff, you know. You can see even feces sometimes on the money that you're getting. It's disgusting. I definitely want to leave it here.
Would you say it's as easy as it is for you to get involved, is as easy for you to leave?
No, definitely not. Comes with a lot of repercussions, but it's doable. And obviously I have to protect myself.
Do you have your weapon on you now?
Not on me, but it's right there.
Wow. That's a big knife.
I know. But I have to do it for safety, innit?
If that stabs somebody, there's not much hope sometimes with those big weapons.
You know, if I was in his position, naked, he would have done the same to me, so why should I think twice about doing it to him?
Where'd you conceal that on yourself?
Just put it in.
Wow. Wow.
I
Don't live so
mean,
fast, there's a lot more life to live. You got a lot of potential, and right about now, you can't even see it for yourself.
The trap, I can leave that from now, because I run the line.
where he from though? Like,
The beef.
he said he been seeing dead bodies since 6. That's crazy.
Yo, you good?
Yeah, I know. Trust
Chicago?
me. Everyone says
Like, what?
walk away, leave
What
it.
is going on?
But when you get up to do it, something else drags you back into this lifestyle.
Yeah, I have tried to leave it, by the way. After my friend died, I was just like, I'm out. I let everyone know that I'm out. But then I ran into people and problems happen. I was with my mum shopping, and these guys had stabbed me and my family. So I had to retaliate, and I just grew from there again.
The wolf you feed is the wolf that gets stronger, innit? But just don't forget where you're coming from and that you had some sort of goals in the beginning.
I feel him though. Nigga try to poke me in front of my dukes. I'm getting them. What? I ain't no hoe. My dukes not. The Naira is a
I
hoe.
hope so. But yeah, start
It's
thinking
up,
about the
nigga.
exit
And
out,
it's
'cause this
stuck up
life
though.
don't
For
last
real.
forever.
Wait, what? There's some things you don't do, bro. Fuck with the parents and fuck with the
I'm
kids.
taken
You
back
feel
by
me?
him.
Cause
Because
them
when I was
two
talking
really
to
ain't
him,
got
you look
shit
in
to
his
do
eyes,
with
you
it.
could see there's
You
no,
feel
he
me?
had no
If they
fear.
daddy not
There
like,
was like
or
an
you feel me, they
emptiness in
parent
his
not
eyes.
like
I
gang,
felt really saddened by
don't
his
do that.
choices in terms of carrying a
Not
life,
cool.
how big that
The
Rambo
kids,
was
if he with
when
his
I was
kids,
growing up and my
don't
quality of
do it.
life. The
Not
things that we
cool.
was
You feel
doing,
me?
going out with
Violence
friends on the
isn't cool in the
weekend,
first place, but it's you gotta
organising
have some
parties and
personality to
trips.
yourself.
These young people now are organising drugs to be run up and down the country.
Like you
A
gotta
knows
have
what he's
something
doing
to
is
yourself.
bad, but because he's so far in it, it's very hard for him to see a way out. And without support, the right support, these young people are just going to keep going through a cycle and a net.
But who do crack though? Like I
A
don't
might
know.
have his own youngers
There's
running
so
for him,
many other
but he's
drugs out
still
here.
at the
Like,
bottom
is
of
it
the
really
pyramid.
still crackheads
He
out
would
here?
have been groomed himself
Like
by
heroin?
someone closer to the
I
top.
know, you feel
There
me?
are
I
at
done seen
least
some
1,000 different
white
county-line
people
drug routes using children and teenagers to run drugs between
but
big
crack,
cities
only
and
crackhead
smaller
I know is my
towns.
uncle.
Just one single
Like
line
that's
has
the
an
only
average
nigga I know
profit
still out
of
here
$1
buying
million
crack.
a
For real.
year.
Like
The team was able to get some access with someone called the General. He recruits young people into county lines.
that boy
The
shit
General
look
operates out of a crack user's house.
like it's
He
wondering.
pays
Nigga.
the user in drugs, a widespread system known as cuckooing.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, man, you always use youngers. A country thing. Easy, it's a pyramid effect. Get me? Like the younger boys, the ones that want to make a little change, they're the ones that are actually at the bottom of the pack. They're living on the council estate. People can't even buy trainers nowadays, so they just see the lifestyle that I live. Nice cars, nice clothes. Well, that money's a real evil. If they owe money to people, then they're having to work it off. If they can't pay it, you know, their family are broke, then we'll take them and they'll have to work for free for 3-4 months. Pay back double what they owe, fat them up, man, just kidnap them and then beat them up. intimidate them, keep them under 24-hour watch, and make them run and work for free. He doesn't stop until the thing is paid off. Until I say it's done.
What is paid off?
The general shows these kids night tracksuits and Air Jordans, and they think they'll be balling once they make a few trips to the country. But here's the part he doesn't tell them. If you lose the pack, you ain't flossing. You're getting smacked up, and then you have to work for free.
I mean, that's... I guess that's obvious to me, but... Nigga, you mean you got your shit too?
If you want to take the risk, then that's down to you.
One of the general's runners have come by to pick up a package.
I got involved when I was about 9 or 10.
9 or 10 is
You have to walk occupation with me. I said, the back though. It's a bad life out. It gets good. I need to do things like that. I might get tied up, what you talk to? You know, I've got 5 kids. They're already involved in it. Going up, seaside resorts and whatnot, wherever it goes. Sell your stuff, and they come back. You get stuff, you want to stop. But everyone's got to learn from their own mistakes.
Step 1. Lure them in with the promise of a flashy lifestyle. Step 2. Beat them up and scare them. Step 3. Trap them into the cycle of debt.
You just smoke crack.
And by the time these kids realize what's up, it's too late to escape, and some of them go missing. Black people are 4 times more likely to be reported as missing in England and Wales. And the community are voicing their concerns over the growing number of black children going missing. Sadly, these cases are often written off as county line incidents. One woman I met experienced this firsthand.
We're down in a secret location today, and we're going to meet a lady called Jenny. Criminal gangs
I'm a
was
real
threatening
American.
her
I be
and her
thinking
family
shit just happened here.
because her
Shit
son
happens
wanted to
everywhere.
live that
It's
lifestyle.
crazy.
Jenny needed to move herself
I'm really
and her
Americanized.
son to
Them
keep
boys
their
done got
family
me.
safe. Jenny, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Come in. Would you like a cup of tea?
Yes, please.
Would you like a cup of tea?
So, a few years ago,
Boy, I've been so sick, boy, these last few days, boy.
To an older boy
Thought I was about to die.
through a friend from school.
I'm feeling good. I'm back and I'm better today. You know what I mean?
Gained my son's trust by giving him alcohol, drugs, money, and a new phone.
Okay.
And he was exploited to sell drugs in other counties. When he first went missing, I came across a social media message between him and his friends. He said he's gone up country. Those were the terms. I didn't understand what that meant.
Yeah.
So obviously I've Googled it, and then I thought, okay, God, he's doing this.
So as a single parent, how did you feel as a mum in that moment when your son's friend said he's in crunch?
Why wasn't I there for him, if I'm honest?
He's in crunch. It's okay, my dudes.
Sorry, I didn't want to get upset.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just felt like I failed him. I blamed a lot of it on myself. And to be quite frank, the relationship with the police did break down. It was so much red tape and constantly being told, no, we can't do that. No, we're not allowed to do that. In the end, I found my own way to try and find him. I spoke to a person, basically with the person that exploited him. He basically said, you will end up dead, your whole family will end up dead, he will end up dead. We had to move.
Did he get any sentencing from having any involvement with the criminal gangs?
He was arrested, he was caught with drugs, he was caught with a knife. They dropped the drugs charges, but they didn't drop the knife charge. Thank God that the judge saw it for what it was. He didn't believe that he should be serving anything.
Would you say, throughout your son's ordeal, that the CPS, the criminal justice system, saw him as a criminal or a victim?
Throughout the whole process, he was constantly seen as a criminal.
I know what it's like to be in this situation.
Yeah.
If your child has been groomed, beaten and intimidated, the last thing you need is a criminal charge as well. He wasn't carrying a knife because he wanted to. He was told he had to. It seems like a lot of it comes down to whether we treat county line runners as victims of trafficking or criminals.
County line
Today,
runners?
even if a child is found to be a victim of trafficking under the modern-day Slavery Act, they're often still charged with various other
Ella Shorty
offences.
fresh. She put that
Some
shit on
politicians
too. I
and
ain't gonna
even
cop on her.
police are waking up to this, pushing for a change in the law to offer these
Because
child
that jacket right
victims
there really
help
tough.
rather than punishment.
So the Children's Society is working with an MP at the moment on one specific ask, which is that child criminal exploitation is defined in law. At the moment, it's not defined in law, so people have different interpretations, and unfortunately, we do see young people being treated as criminals too often in the criminal justice system.
Kent is one of the main endpoints for county lines coming out of London. Police there have seen so many young people running drugs, so they've had to change their approach.
What's the drug problem like up here in Kent?
We've now got 46 county lines in Kent, but and that's a big number, one's too many, but we did have 82 last year. When we do our operations, we've often got social services with us, so that when we find vulnerable, and we have found many vulnerable 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, we help them to come out of the life of crime that they've been forced into.
Why are the police seeing children as criminals more than victims?
Well, so I don't agree with that.
Okay.
So certainly in Kent, we don't see that at all. We look at each case on its merits.
When they're arrested and the young people are either found with a weapon, why is it that the weapon charge isn't dropped?
So if we're safeguarding that individual, and that individual shows us and the CPS that he or she was coerced into this, there may be reasons, therefore, to drop the charge. If that's not the case, whether it be a 14-year-old or a 16-year-old, sometimes they are happily carrying that weapon, and that is dangerous. People die. My job's to save lives.
But in that
They don't
moment,
have
you've been
guns.
deemed as a victim to some degree because the charges of drugs have been dropped.
Yeah.
But that charge, so they're not looked upon entirely as the victim. There's still some sort of aspect of being seen as the perpetrator. If we know generally that these kids are being groomed, trafficked, exploited across the country, both charges should be dropped against them.
Well, if that's the circumstances, I agree with you.
Do you think it would help if criminal exploitation was better defined in law?
Yes, I absolutely do. It's anything that narrows down and stops exploitation of vulnerable people. I don't really care what you call it. Let's stop it.
I was surprised by Alan Pewsley's views on this. It seems like a step in the right direction, but research has shown that for a lot of law enforcement, this isn't the case. That's why for most county line victims, charities are their best chance of leaving the game without a criminal record.
Charities?
Through his charity Refocus, Lennox Rogers is helping kids escape county lines. I joined him at an educational outreach program.
So I'll give you £100 cash. All you've got to do is to look after my bag. If after I've shown you what's in the bag, you decide that you still would hold the bag for 5 minutes, I'll give you the £100, yeah? First of all, there's a knife. The law says you could get 6 months in prison. This is crack cocaine. If you get caught with this in your possession, you could get up to 7 years in prison and an unlimited fine. Having seen what's in the bag, who wants the money?
Hey, I'm a bad kid because I would have
£10,000 each. And I won't have to give you a penny because I would have got my boys to rob you. And I would have said, wow, that's £3,000. So now you're going to have to work the debt. Are your parents with you 24/7? So who keeps you safe? That's right.
You delivered an amazing workshop today.
The amount of young people I've come across who still keep their hands up, wanting to earn the money, is shocking. I have to take the conversation to another level, having had some very bad lived experiences of being groomed myself and being sexually abused and raped. I think it frightens them and they don't want to do it then.
So how would people have described you back then in the past?
I was evil. And I think some people would probably have described me as evil.
So fast forward to now. How do they describe Lennox now?
I hear a lot of nice things said about me, and I sometimes wonder to myself, are you talking about me? If I can make it, this is what I tell the young people too, that they can make it too.
What's been the outcome of you connecting with this project?
The impact is massive. Do a lot of one-to-one
How are they
mentoring
raping
and
niggas?
coaching. We have qualified staff.
I don't even
We
wanna know.
do counselling as well. But we share our lived experiences.
Roll question.
They kind of respect that fact and they listen to us. We're getting young people who we've helped refer other young people who need help. I wish I could go to the young boy that I was and show him a different path.
Swoosh.
I was selling drugs around the country
Around the
before
country?
it even got a name of county lines. Back then it was either out of town, OT, or Cunch. Now it's got its whole name. It's more of it's a business model now. When I was going Cunch or OT, it was just because I wanted to have a little bit extra change in my pocket over the weekend. I wasn't under the guidance of anybody else to be a runner and sell their drugs. It's kind of changed dramatically from when drug selling was just drug selling to now it's grooming, it's forcing young people to sell drugs. You've got families that are being threatened. You've got families that are being kidnapped. They're being extorted. And the difference back when was I had the line. I'd hold the line. Now we're seeing young people be operated and shafted about by someone who has the control of the line. It's scary. It's real. And a lot of young people that are involved currently, they're not able to see the end run for themselves, innit?
They don't even know what the end look like, bro.
A lot of people trying to help, but the issue's bigger than you and I.
Yeah.
After
sure,
everything I've seen, I'm disappointed that we're still not protecting our young people from criminal gangs, and someone under the age of 18 can be charged for selling drugs when they've been groomed by the increasingly organised and violent network of county lines. Even if authorities want to change, we can't just rely on the police to make the distinction. We need to define child criminal exploitation in law. Then all parts of society, including the police, the schools, and the social care system, can help the growing number of victims rather than feeding them into a justice system that makes them criminals, like I was. Until then, this problem isn't going away. It's growing.
That'll do it for the video, you guys. What I would say about that problem is when motherfuckers get like 16, you feel me, 16, 17, they really got their own mind by that time. You feel me? So if they really started at 16, 17 type shit, they knew what they was kind of getting themselves into. If they started before 16, even 15 for real, 15 and 14 and down, nah, that's a problem. You feel me? Them the motherfuckers are really getting brainwashed. 16, 17, I could see you, somebody flashing some money in your face and you probably got down falling for it, but you still know what's the consequences of what the fuck ever you about to get into. You feel me? Like, by that time, you should have a motherfucking, you feel me? Like, you should have a mind, like most people do. But hopefully they figure that out. Like, comment, subscribe to your boy. Let me know what you like and what you don't like. That'll do it for the video. Peace.